make a super great, very simple bait that you can use to catch catfish. But often carp and other things will eat this too, although I think carp tend to like pack bait, dough bait, corn, those things a little bit better. But pretty much anything that's a bottom feeder will eat this, but tremendously great luck catching catfish with this. You'll see a lot of other people in YouTube and on the internet talk about different flavors to add to it. Today we're going to use grape, and like as I started making this bait, I was very early on using simple Jello, strawberry, great value, whatever you have. And I watched a video on YouTube, honestly. Someone said, go use grape, and talked about making grimace chicken. So shout out to those. Maybe I'll link a link to the channel here in the description for this video of like some of those things. But they called it grimace chicken, which I found hysterical. And so I tried the grape, and grape has been an absolute game changer, particularly when they get tired and they don't seem to be as active on strawberry. They will hit grape. They also will hit cherry. So, you know, you can make this anyway, whatever is cheap and easy. In my local Walmart, they had grape flavored Jello. They didn't have grape flavored Great Value, or I would have bought the even cheaper Jello. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with some just inexpensive chicken franks that we have. We're gonna cut some of those up into bite-sized pieces. We're gonna put them in the bag. We're gonna dump the Jello in. We're gonna mix them together, let them set up. The Jello will firm up soft, like inexpensive franks, make them like a little firmer and stay on your hook. But we'll basically infuse them with this actual flavor that then draws catfish in. So let's get going. Pretty easy, and we're gonna go ahead and cut a few up and make a few so we can go catch some catfish. So again, we're gonna start with a handful of some inexpensive hot dogs. We might use about 6. We don't need many, but like you'll make a lot of pieces. And a lot of people will say, you know, make these big. I actually tend to like them kind of small, so not the hugest pieces, because frankly, the catfish in our area are often about 1 to 2 pounds. And while those are pretty good sized catfish, there's no sense giving them a bigger bait, because frankly, they're little mouths, so they'll eat the small pieces just as readily as the big pieces, and these smaller pieces stay on, you know, medium-sized hooks a little bit better. So just my preference, but you can make them as big as you want if you're catching big fish on big hooks, or you can keep them obviously a little bit smaller. So I'm just gonna cut them up into the pieces. And by the way, when you hook these on your hook and you've got these ready to go, hook through the casing. A lot of franks will use basically fillers, and the inner meat is a little softer than the outer meat, and so if you hook your hook through the outer skin, the casing of the hot dog, it'll stay on the hook a little bit better. So just a small tip to make your hot dog stay on a little better and be a little bit more resistant. So here we go. We're putting our hot dogs and our gelatin in there, and get ourselves making some Jello enhanced franks for catfish bait. And this one's pretty big, so I'm gonna cut it one more size smaller. There we go. Open the Jello. Any gelatin will work, but again, I'm really big on the grape these days. Love the grape. It's been a game changer. Seems like, as I mentioned earlier, when they hit strawberry, and they don't like strawberry as much, sometimes they'll hit the grape, or sometimes they'll hit cherry. So when your fish get picky, don't give up on the bait, just try a different flavor. And we've got our gelatin mixed up in there. And this gets really sticky, so definitely, you know, be careful with this. And it takes a while, so you're not going to see it all activate on camera here because there just isn't that much moisture. But you can add a little bit of water into this, but the natural moisture in the hot dogs will, over time, activate the gelatin, and it will stop being quite so, you know, sticky, you know, grainy, sugar-like. And it will turn this really nice light purple from the grape Jello. And that's really all there is to it. Let this go, work it in real good, make sure that your bait's all covered real good. And you can put a drop or two of water to kind of further activate that Jello. Although promise you, it really isn't necessary. As the hot dogs sit and the moisture comes out, that Jello and the gelatin powder and the sugar will soak it out of the hot dogs, and it will continue to be less sugary and less sticky and less sweet. You can see it's already turning into kind of a purple, you know, granules there, and it will actually over time kind of marinate in its own juice, and it will stop being as grainy. And that's it. That's all you need. Simple, efficient, flavorful, meaty. They like the protein, they like the smell, they like the taste, they like the fats, and then of course they like the fruity flavor. And the gelatin just gives it a little sweetness. And you can also add flavor extracts, anise, you can add garlic, you can add vanilla, all strong things that fish like. They're really attracted to that stinky stuff, but you don't have to. So simple bait, simple additive, and you're good.